NASCAR returns to Rockingham, and Tyler Ankrum snaps a ridiculously long winless streak. Plus, I'm not sure F1 fans in Europe own a map or know how to read one. Welcome back to Break Hard. I'm Matt. NASCAR returned to Rockingham Speedway on Friday, a much anticipated return, and it honestly did not disappoint. I thoroughly enjoyed the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race Friday afternoon at Rockingham. Rockingham doesn't have lights, so they had to start the race at 5 p.m., 5:20 p.m. in the afternoon on Friday, running up against sunset at around like 7:45, 7:50, somewhere in that range. And two red flags certainly didn't help out the day. But the winner of the day, Tyler Ankrum, snaps a 130 race winless streak in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the longest in Truck Series history. His last win, 2019 at Kentucky, finally gets it done Friday at Rockingham. And listen, he wasn't going to allow Ed Harris and his group of Rogue Marines hold him hostage because he snapped that 130 race winless streak, conquering the Rock quicker than Nicolas Cage could have, and put himself right back into the playoffs. And that was honestly what that team needed. He coasted with some fuel mileage. We'll get to that in a minute, but we'll start off with sort of a quick recap of the race. Stage number 1, we saw Connor Mozak on, I believe, lap 2, revert to ARCA Connor Mozak, and he'd been doing really well, and then just got in a little bit too hot into turn 3 early on the race there. Spun out, collects Bailey Curry in the process, sucks for Bailey Curry, had a really good run going last week at Bristol, snapped a drive shaft. I saw the picture of the drive shaft, just absolutely sheared it right in half there. And then on Friday, gets caught up with Connor Mozak, and that pretty much ruins his day there. Unfortunate because the kid has had a ton of speed recently for those Nice Motorsport guys and girls over there. Then in stage number 1, Lane Riggs goes on to win it. Looked like it was going to be Jake Garcia. Lane Riggs came on pretty strong there at the end. Stage number 2, guess what? Lane Riggs won it again. Is he going to do the clean sweep here like he's Kyle Larson? Spoiler alert, no, because you already heard who won the race. Then in stage number 3, Ty Majeski gets really loose underneath Stuart Friesen getting into turn 1, backs the truck into the wall, shortened it up a little bit like he wants to fit into one of those compact spaces. Red flag comes out. That's not for no swimming. It's because you can't race because the wall was broken. So it's like, all right, well, we don't have lights, so we got to fix this wall pretty quickly so we don't run up against sunset like we were talking about. Great. Get back going. A few laps later, Stuart Friesen. Roger Carruth checks up in turn 4, got loose, had to catch the truck. Stuart Friesen hits the wall, collects Matt Mills, collects Tanner Gray at the same time. Big time damage to that number 52 truck. And guess what? Another red flag for wall repair. The walls at Rockingham made out of paper. Have they been sitting there since 2013 and they've gotten just absolutely weaker? No, just 2 really, really hard hits back to back for those cautions. Stuart Friesen, though, got out of the truck afterwards, talked to TV and was like, man, the last 2 weeks really have me questioning whether or not I want to do this or not, that being racing in the trucks. And then when he talked to print media and some of the other smaller, not non-TV media, he said, maybe I'm just going to go back dirt racing because racing with these guys just isn't working out. And honestly, he didn't get taken out. Like, it was a mistake by Raja, which then had an accordion effect backwards and kind of caught Stuart Friesen there. So I get Stuart's frustration, and hopefully it was just a frustration in the moment because that Halmar team is definitely an asset to have in the truck series, and Stuart Friesen deserves to be in the truck series. Race winner, almost won Atlanta earlier this year, so I hope he sticks around. I hope that was just purely frustration to come out of it there. Then the race came down to fuel strategy. Tyler Ankrum is out there gambling like he's Baby Billy with his health elixir, and he's hoping, praying like a sinner at church on Sunday that he's got enough fuel in that truck, just nursing it like he's the Scott Dixon of NASCAR, and he got it done. He was going super slow in the last 2 laps, so much so that the booth thought he was out multiple times. No, Chandler Smith was the only one that was out there in more ways than one, and he ends up, running second, ends up falling out of the top 5 there. Tyler Ankrum goes on to win the race. Jake Garcia, really, really good day for him at Rockingham. Just kind of, I don't want to call it his coming out party in a sense, because we know the kid's got talent, but definitely kind of showed that he has what it takes to get it done at this level, and wouldn't be shocked to see him win a race or 2 throughout the rest of the year. Ankrum wins, Jake Garcia in second, and then you have Daniel Hemrick in third. Roger Carruth rebounded to get a 4th place finish, which is great for him, and Grant Enfinger rounding out your top 5. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this race a lot. Obviously, it's been a long time since we've been to Rockingham. 2012, 2013, the last time the Truck Series was here. 2004, the last time the Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Cup Series were here. And you add in the safer barrier, you add in the repave and everything like that, and Rockingham's hairy. Rockingham's tight. Rockingham is not a place that is going to let you make mistakes very often and get away with it. We saw some people make some pretty big mistakes on Friday night and were able to get out of it, but more often than not, you make a mistake coming off of turn 2, guess what? You're hitting the wall. Like, that's just what's happening here. We saw it happen to Ben Rhodes. We saw it happen to a number of other drivers out there. The only thing I will say about the coverage, because I thought the racing was really good overall. I have no complaints there. I'm excited to see what the Xfinity Series race is going to look like. It's fast, right? It's definitely fast, but there was opportunities to move to different lanes, which I was really happy about. There are passing opportunities. Passing's difficult. There are opportunities to get it done. So I'm excited about that for the Xfinity Series race. The Cup Series, if they were to bring it back here, I think it's worth doing like the All-Star race or the Clash here first before they kind of figure out what they want to do, because I'm not sure with the Gen 7 car it's going to race very well yet. It feels like it would be a bit Iowa-ish, and Iowa hasn't been bad necessarily, but I think that Iowa was definitely helped out by the partial repave and everything that they did in the corners there. I'm not sure Rockingham is a place for the Cup Series yet, but as it ages, it could be. I think it definitely could be. The one thing I will say about the coverage, Fox was Rockingham's about an hour and a half, hour 45 from Charlotte. Called the race remotely. All right, fine, whatever. Cup Series isn't there. The infrastructure's not there. They don't want to spend the money to do it. Okay, fine, whatever. Pinch your pennies. That's all right. You can stack them with Corey LaJoie over there. But my biggest complaint is Jamie Little just is not the person to lead the calls for the Truck Series. When you have a guy like Rick Allen sitting out there on the couch, Eric Brennan, who calls the Cars Tour races on Flow and also will do select ARCA stuff for Fox, hire Rick Allen, hire somebody that can lead a broadcast, that is a lead announcer for your broadcast. It's not Jamie Little. Jamie Little's really, really good at pit reporting. Phenomenal at pit reporting. Terrible at leading a broadcast here. And perfect example was on Friday night. Carson Hocevar was brought in to be like the driver analyst alongside Michael Waltrip, and Carson ended up doing play-by-play as well as driver analyst role. And honestly, I tweeted out that I think Carson has seen all the criticism of Fox and he's trying to fix it all in one race, and that's exactly what he was trying to do, and hats off to him for trying to get it done. He was phenomenal in the booth. I'm not going to say anything bad about Carson Hocevar. I know I've criticized him at times for hooking people and being a bit of a menace on the racetrack. Overall, him as an announcer, top notch. Pam Miller, whoever at Fox is running this program now, they need to absolutely bring him into the booth more often, as much as he wants to do it, because he did such a good job there. Then on the last lap, Jamie Little calls Lane Riggs, taking the white flag, called it in turn 1, whatever, calls it the last lap. Then in 20 seconds, forgot, maybe, I'm not sure there, he crosses the finish line, he's off into turn 1, and apparently it's just now the Fox rule that you don't call the winner until they've taken the checkered flag and they're halfway through their cooldown lap, if not further, because he's in turn 2 and she's like, winner. What? We know he's a winner. And everybody keeps talking about the delay that they're seeing in the broadcast booth back in Charlotte, which I don't think there's a delay. The CW does a fantastic job with it, and maybe Fox's setup is really bad, but if we're watching it at home and they're not calling it, how late are they calling it there? I'm very baffled by all of this, and how for 2 weeks in a row now, Mike Joy's at the racetrack and didn't call Larson the winner until he's in turn 3 on his cooldown lap after he took the checker flag. And now on Friday night in the Truck Series, Jamie Little doesn't call it until he's in turn 2 on a cooldown. It's just baffling to me. I hope Fox tries to get better. I hope they bring Carson Hocevar in. I hope they make a change at the lead announcer role for the Truck Series, because it's just not Jamie Little. I'm sorry. Put her back and doing pit reporting. She's great at that. She's just not the voice to carry a racing series, or at least not in this capacity. Maybe she needs to do some training, whatever. I'm not sure. It's just not working out right now. I know it was an executive call from Los Angeles and they wanted to have this. Fine. The experiment has run its course. It's time to move on now. There's enough data in the set now to be like, we can make an informed decision here that we should probably move on at this point. So I don't know, but the truck race, really good. Excited for the Xfinity race. It's time for everybody's favorite segment. Let's go to school with Break Hard. Now, we're going to start off today with geography because for some Europeans, maps really difficult to read, really difficult to understand. So this past week, Stefano Domenicali, the president of Formula One, said it's going to be hard for Italy to keep one of its two races in either Imola or in Monza because there's so many other countries that want to host a Grand Prix. And I got so excited about this one because I know people don't look at maps, people don't understand how big America actually is. So I ran to the comment section and I looked at it and I was like, oh, it did not disappoint. People are saying, oh, why does America need three? Get rid of one of the races in America. America has three. Why do they deserve three? Italy should be able to keep two of them. That's because you guys don't look at a map. Now, let's go to geography class real quick. This is America. Big, very big, like 3+ million square miles big. This is Italy. Not big, 116,000 square miles. About the size of Arizona if you were to break it down into like a square and not this elongated shape here. Basically runs from Tallahassee to Indianapolis, a trip that you probably never want to take if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, America's big. It can host 3 Grand Prix. This little country right here hosts 2. All right, okay, if you sell it, that's great, but at the same time, there's other countries out there. Why does America need 3? Because America has a race here, here, and here. They could have another race up here. They could have another race over here. They got another race up there. They'd sell them all out. They would be perfectly fine having 4 races on the calendar easily. Easily could have 4 races on the calendar. Why? Because it's a big country. But meanwhile, the Europeans are over there putting beans on toast for breakfast, eating mushy peas, washing down with a fizzy drink. Fizzy drink's actually kind of fire. And they don't bother to look at a map here. One thing I will say about going to the English food section at Jungle Gyms, if you're ever in Cincinnati, I implore you to stop at Jungle Gyms. There's one in Fairfield and one out on the east side of town, out in a place they call Eastgate, which is fitting because it's actually to the east of, Cincinnati. And the English food section there, I bought a couple things from there. They got pretty good candy selection. They got Walker's chips. All right, try some different things out whenever you want to. Pretty entertaining for the most part. One thing that I've been buying a lot of are their digestive tea cookies. Like they're just tea cookies. I just call them digestives because they're European. They're weird. And they're fantastic. I absolutely love those ones. I want the chocolate on them. Buddy, pound a whole package down if I wasn't careful. Then I'd be like 400 pounds. Nobody wants to see that. Back to the topic at hand though. This is why America gets 3 races, because it's huge. Europeans think that they're going to go to Boston, they're going to take a day trip down to South Carolina and then go back to their hotel in Boston that night. They're in New York and they're like, oh, I'm just going to pop out to California for the day and come back. All right, you can. It's going to be like a 5-hour flight, and then you're going to get there, and then the time change, you're going to come back, and guess what? It's going to be tomorrow. Why would you think a day trip is possible there? Maps exist. This is a really long distance. You want to drive across Texas? It's going to take you all day to do that. They have no idea that's what's going to happen. You want to drive to Miami from the Florida border? Buddy, strap in. I hope you got a comfortable seat because you're going to be there for like 7 or 8 hours. It's going to be a long time, maybe more like 6 or 7, but the point still stands. You're going to be in that car for a long time. So Europeans just really don't understand just how big America is and why it's possible to hold 3 Grand Prix here in one country because it's gigantic. And there's like 340 million people here. They got plenty to pick from. People are flying in for these races as well. Yeah, sorry to the rest of the Europeans that don't understand this. As much as I love the traditional European tracks at Monza and at Imola, it's just kind of the nature of the beast right now. And honestly, neither of those 2 tracks have put on a very good race with this current generation car. So yeah, if they want to move on from one of them, I would probably prefer that they move on from Imola. As much as I love Imola, it doesn't really produce very good racing. Monza always gives you the chance of possibly putting on good racing, and it's like a cathedral of speed, right? So it's kind of cool to have it on the calendar. America can hold 3 races. I implore everybody that doesn't think that to just look at a map one time for me. So let me know in the comments what you thought about the Truck Series race at Rockingham, Fox's weird call at the end of the race there, as well as Formula One fans not understanding how big America actually is. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on TikTok at BreakHard, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at BreakHardBlog.